The Journey to Mastering English Listening. My name is Liam, and I've been on a quest to improve my English for several years. I've always been dedicated to learning the language, studying grammar, expanding my vocabulary, and practicing speaking. However, despite all my efforts, I found myself struggling with one crucial aspect of English: listening. In this story, I'll share my personal journey, the challenges I faced, and the strategies I used to overcome my listening difficulties. If you're like me and find yourself grappling with listening skills, I hope my experience and tips will help guide you on your path to mastery. Chapter 1. The Challenge of Listening. When I first began learning English, I thought that as long as I could read and write well, I would be fine. I devoted hours to studying grammar rules and vocabulary lists, confident in my ability to communicate through writing. But when it came to listening, things were different. I vividly remember a particular incident that made me realize just how much I struggled with listening. It was during an international conference where English was the primary language. While I could understand most of the written materials and follow along with the presentations when they were projected on the screen, I found myself lost during the actual discussions. People spoke too quickly, used idiomatic expressions I wasn't familiar with, and my mind couldn't keep up with the rapid flow of conversation. Frustrated and disheartened, I decided that I needed to improve my listening skills if I wanted to fully grasp and enjoy the English language. Little did I know, this would become one of the most challenging but ultimately rewarding parts of my language journey. Chapter 2. Understanding the problem. Before I could tackle my listening issues, I needed to understand them better. Listening is a complex skill that involves more than just hearing words. It requires understanding pronunciation, intonation, rhythm, and context. Here are some key reasons I discovered for my listening difficulties. 1. Speed of speech. Native speakers often talk quickly, and their speech can be difficult to follow if you're not used to it. This speed can make it challenging to process and comprehend what is being said. 2. Accents and dialects. English is spoken with various accents and dialects, which can make it hard to understand different speakers. For instance, a British accent can sound quite different from an American accent, and regional dialects add another layer of complexity. 3. Slang and idioms. Native speakers use slang and idiomatic expressions that are not always easy to decipher. Phrases like kick the bucket or hit the hay can be confusing if you're not familiar with their meanings. 4th. Lack of context. Sometimes, without visual or contextual clues, understanding spoken English can be challenging. For example, if you're listening to a conversation about a specific topic without any background information, it can be hard to follow. Recognizing these challenges was the first step in addressing them. It was clear to me that I needed a structured approach to improve my listening skills. Chapter 3. Setting realistic goals. To tackle my listening problems, I set realistic and achievable goals. I knew that improvement wouldn't happen overnight, but by breaking down the process into manageable steps, I could make gradual progress. Here were my goals. 1. Daily practice. Dedicate at least 20 to 30 minutes each day to listening exercises. Consistent practice is key to developing any skill, and listening is no exception. Variety of materials. Expose myself to different types of listening materials, including podcasts, news reports, movies, and conversations. This variety helps you get used to different speaking styles and contexts. 3. Active listening. Focus on understanding the main ideas, specific details, and the context of what I was hearing. Active listening involves engaging with the material rather than passively hearing it. Fourth, incremental difficulty. Start with easier materials and gradually move to more challenging content. This gradual progression helps build confidence and prevents overwhelm. By setting these goals, I created a clear path for improving my listening skills and ensuring that my efforts were consistent and focused. Chapter 4. Practical Strategies for Improvement. With my goals in mind, I began to implement various strategies to enhance my listening abilities. Here are some effective techniques that helped me along the way. 1. Use subtitled media. Watching movies and TV shows with English subtitles was one of the most helpful strategies for me. The subtitles provided a written reference that allowed me to follow along with the dialogue. I started with materials that had clear and slow speech, such as children's shows, and gradually moved to more complex content. Subtitles serve as a bridge between spoken and written language. They help you connect the sounds you hear with the words you see, making it easier to understand and remember new vocabulary. As my listening skills improved, I challenged myself by watching without subtitles to test my comprehension. 2. Listen to podcasts. Podcasts are a fantastic resource for improving listening skills. I subscribed to podcasts on topics I enjoyed, which made the practice enjoyable and engaging. Listening to podcasts regularly exposed me to different accents and speaking styles, helping me adapt to various forms of spoken English. Podcasts often feature conversational language and diverse topics, providing real-life contexts for vocabulary and expressions. I chose podcasts with clear speech and slow-paced discussions initially, then gradually moved to more advanced ones. I also took notes while listening to capture new phrases and ideas. 3. Practice with audiobooks. Audiobooks were another excellent tool for enhancing my listening. They provided a continuous flow of spoken English, and I could listen to them during my daily commute or while exercising. Audiobooks also allowed me to hear proper pronunciation and intonation in context. Choosing audiobooks with clear narration and a moderate pace helped me follow along easily. I selected books in genres I enjoyed to keep myself motivated. Additionally, I sometimes listened to the same book in both audiobook and written form to compare and reinforce my understanding. 4. Engage in shadowing. Shadowing involves listening to a short segment of audio and then repeating it out loud as closely as possible to the original recording. This technique helped me improve my pronunciation and rhythm while also enhancing my ability to follow spoken English. I started with short, manageable segments and focused on mimicking the speaker's intonation and speed. Shadowing helped me internalize natural speech patterns and improved my overall listening comprehension. Over time, I increased the length of the segments and incorporated different accents and styles. 5. Use listening comprehension exercises. I found various listening comprehension exercises online that included questions about audio clips. These exercises tested my understanding of specific details and overall comprehension. They were a great way to assess my progress and identify areas for improvement. Listening comprehension exercises often come with transcripts and answer keys, allowing me to check my responses and learn from mistakes. I used these exercises to target specific listening skills, such as identifying main ideas, details, and inferred meanings. 6. Practice with language exchange partners. Engaging in conversations with native English speakers through language exchange platforms was invaluable. It gave me the opportunity to practice listening in real time and receive feedback on my understanding. Additionally, conversing with others helped me become more comfortable with spontaneous speech. Language exchange partners provided authentic conversational practice and exposed me to natural speech patterns and slang. I scheduled regular sessions with partners and discussed various topics to enhance my listening skills in different contexts. 7. Take advantage of dictation exercises. Dictation exercises involve listening to a passage of spoken English and writing it down as accurately as possible. This practice improved my ability to catch every word and understand spoken content more clearly. I started with shorter passages and gradually increased the length as my skills improved. Dictation exercises helped me develop attention to detail and reinforced my understanding of pronunciation and sentence structure. 8. Immerse yourself in English. Surrounding myself with English in my daily life was crucial. I made a conscious effort to change the language settings on my devices to English, follow English-speaking social media accounts, and participate in online forums. This immersion helped me become more attuned to the language and improved my listening skills over time. I also attended English-speaking events, such as seminars and workshops, and interacted with English speakers in various settings. Immersion provided continuous exposure to the language and reinforced my listening practice. 9. Use language learning apps. Language learning apps often include listening exercises and interactive activities. I used these apps to practice listening to different types of content, such as conversations, news reports, and interviews. The apps also offered feedback and progress tracking, which was motivating. Many language learning apps feature gamified elements and interactive exercises that made listening practice more engaging. I set daily goals and used the app's progress reports to monitor my improvement. Chapter 5. Overcoming specific challenges. Throughout my journey, I faced several specific challenges in my listening practice. Here's how I addressed them. Speed of speech. To overcome the challenge of fast speech, I initially listened to slower-paced materials and gradually increased the speed as I became more comfortable. Many language learning apps and podcasts offer adjustable speed settings, which allowed me to practice at a pace that was manageable for me. I also practiced listening to news reports and podcasts with different speaking speeds. By gradually increasing the speed, I trained my ears to process information more quickly and accurately. Accents and dialects. To familiarize myself with different accents and dialects, I sought out materials from various English-speaking regions. For instance, I listened to Australian, British, and American podcasts and watched movies with different accents. This exposure helped me adapt to diverse pronunciations and speech patterns. I also researched specific accents and dialects to understand their unique features. Watching interviews and documentaries featuring speakers from different regions provided additional insight into their speech patterns. Slang and idioms. Understanding slang and idiomatic expressions was another hurdle. I made it a point to learn common idioms and slang phrases by using dedicated resources such as online idiom dictionaries and language learning websites. I also paid attention to these expressions in context to understand their meaning better. I created flashcards with idiomatic expressions and their meanings and reviewed them regularly. Using idioms and slang in my own conversations and writing helped reinforce my understanding. Lack of context. When faced with a lack of context, I used contextual clues to aid my understanding. I focused on visual aids, such as images or video content, and paid attention to the speaker's tone and body language. Additionally, I practiced active listening by summarizing what I heard and checking my comprehension. I also used transcripts and summaries to gain context before listening to audio clips. This preparation helped me follow along more easily and improve my comprehension. Chapter 6. Tracking Progress and Staying Motivated. Tracking my progress and staying motivated were essential parts of my journey. I used a journal to record my daily listening practice, noting the materials I used and any challenges I encountered. Regular reflection on my progress helped me stay focused and motivated. I also set small milestones and celebrated my achievements along the way. Whether it was successfully understanding a podcast episode or comprehending a difficult conversation, acknowledging these milestones kept me motivated and encouraged me to continue improving. Creating a listening log. I created a detailed listening log where I recorded the date, type of material, duration, and key takeaways from each practice session. This log allowed me to track my progress over time and identify patterns in my listening skills. Setting milestones and rewards. Setting specific milestones, such as understanding a podcast episode without subtitles or successfully completing a dictation exercise, helped me measure my progress. I rewarded myself with small treats or breaks when I reached these milestones, which kept me motivated. Reflecting on achievements. Regular reflection on my achievements was crucial for maintaining motivation. I reviewed my listening log and reflected on how far I had come since I started. Recognizing my progress, no matter how small, reinforced my commitment to improving my listening skills. Chapter 7. Seeking Feedback and Support. Receiving feedback and support from others played a significant role in my improvement. I sought feedback from language exchange partners, tutors, and friends who were fluent in English. Their constructive feedback helped me identify areas for improvement and provided valuable insights into my listening skills. Finding a mentor or tutor. Working with a language tutor or mentor provided personalized feedback and guidance. I scheduled regular sessions with my tutor, who helped me target specific listening challenges and provided strategies for improvement. Participating in language exchange. Engaging in language exchange with native speakers gave me real-time practice and feedback. I participated in online language exchange platforms and attended local language exchange meetups to practice my listening skills. Joining online communities. Joining online language learning communities offered additional support and encouragement. I participated in forums and discussion groups where I could share my experiences, seek advice, and connect with fellow learners. Chapter 8. Reflecting on the Journey. Looking back on my journey to improve my English listening skills, I realize how much progress I've made. While it took time and effort, the strategies and techniques I implemented were effective in helping me overcome my listening difficulties. My ability to understand spoken English has significantly improved, and I feel more confident engaging in conversations and following along with various types of content. Celebrating progress. Reflecting on my journey, I celebrate the progress I've made. From struggling to understand basic conversations to comfortably following complex discussions, I acknowledge the milestones and achievements along the way. Acknowledging growth. I've learned that mastering listening skills requires patience, perseverance, and consistent practice. By setting realistic goals, using practical techniques, and seeking support, I was able to make meaningful progress and enhance my overall language proficiency. Embracing the journey. My journey to mastering English listening skills has been a challenging yet rewarding experience. Embracing the ups and downs of the process has been an essential part of my growth. I've come to appreciate the nuances of the language and the joy of understanding spoken English. Conclusion. My journey to mastering English listening skills has been a challenging but rewarding experience. Through dedicated practice and the implementation of various strategies, I was able to overcome my listening difficulties and gain a deeper understanding of the language. If you find yourself struggling with listening, remember that improvement is possible with the right approach and persistence. By setting achievable goals, using practical techniques, and staying motivated, you too can enhance your listening skills and become more confident in your English abilities. Keep practicing, stay focused, and enjoy the journey of language learning. Your efforts will pay off, and you'll find yourself more attuned to the nuances of English listening in no time.